True Crime with Jess Rose. How are you all doing out there? Hope you're all okay. Let me just try. There we go. I think that's it, isn't it? There we go. Just to brighten it up a little bit. How are you all out there? If you're joining me tomorrow, thank you for watching. This is a live, so if you see me nattering to people or anything else, that's why. Hi sis, how you doing? Yeah, so we're gonna start in a second. I'm just gonna wait for a couple of people, and then I want to show you my tree. So how are we all out there? I've started. Hi Kelly, how you doing? How's it going? My first two. How are we? Hope you're all okay. Do you want to see my tree? Do you want to see it? Because it is Christmas. It is Christmas in the Rose household. Let me show you. I'm going to take it. I don't know whether to. I might just turn it like this. Ooh, the tree's up. And I have all the lights on all around. So pretty. Should see the outside of my house. It's crazy. I love Christmas. I know I'm early. I don't care. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm a Christmas fan, but that's why it's so bright around me. It's nearly Christmas. It is. Hi Phil, how are you? Happy Jess Rose Day. How are we? We're on a Wednesday today, but it's still Jess Rose Day. So yeah. Phil, I was just showing everyone. I've got Christmas up, I'm afraid. Christmas is here in the Rose household. And I know I'm early. Hi Warwick, how are you? Yeah. Oh hi, how are you? Right, okay. Should we start? Has it gone 8 o'clock? I presume it's gone 8 o'clock now, hasn't it? Do you know, Kelly, sorry, I am about to start. My mum always did 2 weeks before Christmas and 12 days after. Did it for years. And then I started doing the 1st of December. Then it became mid-November. And now I've drew a line that as long as it's after Halloween and bonfire night, we're good. So that's where. And plus, I have a lot of lights. I'm a light fiend. I love lots of lights. If anyone didn't just see, let me just show you. We just started the living room. We're not done. But, right, we're over there. And then we're coming around. Let me just show you. I have a lot of lights, and they go all the way around. Sorry. If you're watching, yes, Phil. It can be any day, just like Christmas. Yes, love that. Yes, I'm a bit of a lights fiend, so I know I'm early. You may mock me. I take it on the chin. It's fine. Yes, Tiffany, I know you're the 1st of December. I think I am the only one in my family or in Birmingham. But I don't care. I really don't. That's how I feel about it. My neighbours aren't impressed because they're flashing into the... I have to put it on like a twinkle because otherwise it flashes right into the windows opposite. It's a whole big thing. It's a whole thing. Right. I feel you can encourage this behaviour. Do you know why? Because it's good behaviour to have. That's why. If you're watching tomorrow, I'm just getting mocked for having my Christmas stuff up already. And I don't care. I take it. I take it on the chin, like I say. Right. Story I'm doing. Let me explain. Now, last week, obviously I said there was a story I was going to do. It was horrific. Here we go. Now, the story I was actually going to do, to be honest, the victims in the case lived. It was a mother and her son. And I don't know if it is because they've lived, but everything I'd originally seen and watched, including like the trial and everything else, has gone. It's gone. It's disappeared. I can't find anything. Can't find names. I can't find places, it's gone. And I was like, okay, I'm not too sure what's happened there, but whether it's because they are under maybe a witness protection, I'm not too sure. So what I decided to do, if any of you are long time subscribers of mine, you'll know that I literally had about a year off. And like I said at the time, I appreciated everyone for remaining subscribed to me. You know, it was a long break, and I did say I think I'd done one or two stories in between that period, and I'd explained there was a story that had just rocked me completely, and I just thought, I can't do it, I can't do this, and I literally can't. And it's not that it's any worse than any of the stories I do, I'm not comparing anything, but this one just it just stayed with me. So I am going to give you all a trigger warning. It does involve a child, and it's awful. So you know, I just thank you, Warwick. So I'm putting that out there now. Now you might at the end of this think, well, you've done this story. Why this particular one? Why was it this one had such an effect? I can't answer that. I don't know. I just know that I just thought, I want to get off. I've got to get off this planet. I can't cope with hearing any more of these stories. So just like how I felt about it, I don't know if you'll feel the same afterwards, but I am just letting you know. Obviously it is a child case, and it is very graphic, it is very brutal, and I understand if you're not going to stick around for it, but if you are, then we're going to begin. Okay, so as the title said, this is a sickening Tori Stafford story, and it is sickening and it is vile. So there we go. I'm not giving another warning. I'll give all the warnings I'm going to give. That's it. Okay. So, Tori, obviously in the title, her name is Victoria Elizabeth Marie Stafford, and she was born on the 15th of July 2000. And her mum is, there's a lot of T's in this story, a lot of, well, there's three women beginning with T. So, I you know, if you're following, so we've got Victoria, whose nickname will be Tori. Her nickname is Tori, and it's what everyone has called her, and it's what I've seen everything on. So it is Tori. Her mother is Tara McDonald. Now Tori lived with Tara, her stepdad, and a brother, and that is in Woodstock, Ontario, I think it's pronounced, in Canada. Now, although Tara, which is Tori's mum, she was addicted to drugs, in the sense of prescription drugs, it's called. I don't know if we've got it here, and if you've heard of it, please let me know. I don't think we've got it here. It's called oxycontin or oxycontin. It's spelled oxycontin, but when I hear them say it's oxycontin. So it's a prescribed drug, and it's normally given for pain relief after an injury or anything else, and then you become addicted, and you know, so she was addicted to those tablets. At this moment in time, when we come up to the date of the story, she was trying to get off it. She was trying to get off them tablets and wean herself off. Now, Tori herself, such a pretty little girl, really. You know, after the story, if you want to go away and have a look and everything else, lovely looking little girl, very cheeky looking, just a very pretty, sweet, popular girl, had lots of friends, family loved her, you know, just a lovely little girl. And we come up to when Tori's 8 years old. Okay. So we're going to begin this story on the 8th of April 2009. And at 3:30, Tori finished school and she went to Oliver Stevens School in Woodstock, Ontario. I've got to stop saying that. I can't say it properly. But Woodstock, it's in Canada. And she was seen on the CCTV or the surveillance around the school about 3:32, walking away from the school. Now, Tara, at this point, is at home because they've recently moved. They're still in the area. She's still in the same school, but they've moved house, like a fresh start. She's trying to get herself straight. So all day, Tara had been at home, Tori's mum, unpacking and getting things together. So she'd noticed that Tori should have finished at 3:30, and she started to notice that, okay, 4 o'clock's coming and going, 4:30's coming and going. Now, the reason she didn't automatically panic, like, I don't know about you, but I would. My kids don't go anywhere on their own anyway, I'm crazy. But she did start to panic a little bit when it got to about 5:20. The child finished school at 3:30. Anyway, I'll keep those opinions. But she phoned Tori's nan, so it'd be Tara's mum, and says, you know, have you seen Tori? Because up until this point, Tara thought she's dropped off at, you know, she's walking around with friends or she's popped to a friend's house. She really wasn't worried. All I can gather is they must have lived in quite a safe area, and Tori maybe was quite streetwise. I don't know, but that's why she didn't panic anyway. So she phones Tori's nan, her mum, and, you know, checks if she's there. She's not there. So Tara and her mum drive around looking for Tori, you know, around where she'd normally be hanging about, do the drive home from her school. No sign of Tori whatsoever. So at 6 p.m, she finished school at 3:30. Anyway, at 6 p.m, they go to the police station to report Tori missing. Okay, so now bear with me. We are going to move on just very briefly to Terri-Lynne McClintic. Hi, Mum. If you're watching tomorrow, my mum's just joined. Mum, I've just been introducing Tori, which is who the story's about. Just her history and the fact that she left school at 3:30. By 6 o'clock, hasn't returned home. Her mum and her grandmother are now at the police station. So I've kind of moved away from that just for a second. And we're going to talk about a girl called Terri-Lynne McClintic. Do you remember I said there's a lot of T's? So this is the third T person in the story. Terri-Lynne McClintic, she was born on the 1st of October 1990. Now, Terri-Lynne didn't have a great upbringing. I'm not going to pretend that she did. I won't. Her mum was a sex worker. She gave Terri away when she was a few weeks old. She actually gave her away to her friend called Carol Sanford. Carol, also a sex worker. Carol also had lost her kids. Her kids had been taken off her. But Terry's mum, for some reason, thought, do you know what? I'm not great. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hand my newborn daughter off to my sex worker pal, not shaming here, just saying, who lost her own kids. Okay. Anyway, Carol meets a gentleman by the name of Rob McClintic while Terry is still quite young. and he's very he seems to be a stand-up guy. He works on the trucks, a driver, long distance. So he's away for quite a bit in the week, but he provides for Carol, he provides for Terry. Don't forget, Terry's not his child. Terry's not Carol's child. But when Carol and Rob get married, he wants permanent legal custody of Terry. He dotes on this little girl, and they apply for it, and they get it. They get this permanent custody of Terry. So it looks like, even though she didn't have the best coming into the world, there was a chance she could, end up having a good life. It's not that kind of channel. I think we both know that's not what this channel is. So that doesn't happen. So when when Terry is 3, Rob and her mom, the stepmom, foster mom, I don't know what she'd be classed as, but Rob and Carol break up. So now Carol moves with Terry, and it all goes horribly wrong with Terry. Then it said she's sexually abused at a very, very young age. I think she was 4. Carol says she didn't know anything about it. It came out in later years. I didn't know. Terry, because of Carol also being addicted to drugs. Oh, so let's just throw that into the mix as well. So Terry is in and out of foster care at this point. She's starting to become a very angry young girl. Very, very angry young girl. She, at a point when she's back home with Carol, attacks Carol so bad that she blinds her in one of her eyes. She also microwaves the family dog. Okay. She not only does that, she tortures animals regularly. We know in these stories that if it's said that they torture animals, they're not heading down a great path. We already know that. So she's done that. In 2007, when she was 17, she robs a man at knife point. And also it was said that she told a friend while she was in kind of a juvenile facility for robbing this man at knife point, that her ideal thing, what she wants to do, her ambition, does she want to be a teacher? Does she want to be famous? No, what she wants to do is kidnap somebody, kill them, and smash their skull in with a hammer. That's what she wants to do with her life. That's her ambition. So, okay, you might say she's 17, she's had a rough life, she'll snap out of it. But on the 9th of February 2009, Terry meets a gentleman. Oh, God, did I say gentleman? She meets a man by the name of Michael Rafferty. Okay, a little bit about Michael. Michael was born on the 26th of October 1980. So, 10 years older than Terry. After high school, he had random jobs. He not a lot on him in his early years, but what we know of him, he was a con man. He had no criminal record, didn't even have a traffic ticket, but he was a con man. He would have literally 7 women at any one time on the go just to provide for him. He'd get their money. He'd live in their homes. He was just, he was a clever down and out. So he had nothing about him, but he had the gift of the gab. So he would, and apparently there was he had no real type. The women could be old, young, the black, white, it didn't matter. If he could get something out of these women, he would. And that was Michael Rafferty. Okay. So you've got a con man meeting a very, very, very violent girl. Very violent. So, like I say, they meet up on the 9th of February 2009. These two do. Now, the thing with Michael, he was also addicted to I can't pronounce it. Oxycodone as well. He was addicted to that. So Terry and Carol at this point were dealing oxycodone. They were getting the prescriptions and they were selling it. And Michael was like, con man extraordinaire. He's like, oh wow, I'm addicted to oxycodone. He's a girl who deals it. I'm gonna hook up with her. So he gets his drugs off her. Terry very, very quickly falls for Michael, and anything he wants to do, you know, she'll do it for him. So Michael, when they're having their chat, see what Michael likes to do is just drive around, just cruise around in his car with whatever female he's with at the time. And this is what he does to pass his time because he's not working, he's not doing anything. Bearing in mind at this point, remember this bloke's 29 years of age as well, and he's driving around like a teenager in his car. Anyway, they start having heart-to-hearts, Terry and Michael do, and you know what his dream is? Now, obviously, I've explained what her dream is. What Michael's dream is he wants to rape and murder a little girl. That's what his dream is. That's what he wants to do. So, this story reminds me very much with regards to the manipulation, the partner aspect of it, of Ian Brady with Moira Hindley, Paul Bernardo with Carla, wasn't it? Carla I could never pronounce her last name, but I did do that story, the Ken and Barbie killers. And, you know, you always get these manipulative men who have these vile thoughts, and their way of getting away with it is to get a woman involved, because of course, you know, getting a woman involved, it's less suspicious, isn't it? And God, the girl he got involved with him. So that was what their discussions would be. Okay. Now, on the 8th of April 2009, if you remember, we were discussing Tori. She hadn't come back from school, had she? And obviously at this point, Tara and the grandmother are at the police station. So they're looking for their daughter and granddaughter. They don't know where she is. Well, on that day, this was the day Michael and Terry had claimed later that she thought Michael was lying. He was just talking. He was just like, you know, could you imagine meeting somebody? And because check the dates from when they met in February. This is only April. We're in April now, so 2 months. And March, April, yes. So imagine you've just met someone, the man of your dreams, and he starts telling you that this is what he'd like to do. And you pass it off like, oh, you know, it's a phase. It's just, you know, I just took no notice of what he was saying. Okay. So this is the day that Michael decides, I want to go. I want an underage girl. So at this point now, Terri still tries to make out that she thought he was joking. And yes, Mix is in the room. She's jumping about. I'm trying to zone her out. She's not having it though. Okay. So Terri tries to claim that she thinks that Michael's been joking, it's all been a blag, you know. So on this afternoon, as they're driving around and Michael's like, you know, come on, when are we going to do this? I don't know what she's doing. And I'm trying so hard to concentrate. She's playing with a bone. So, okay, Jessica, focus. I'm so sorry. I'd left the door open. That's why she's in here. Okay, so on this day, Michael has said today's the day. They're driving around, and Terri is very much still saying, oh, it's a joke, it's a big joke, he didn't really want to do it. But when she's passing off Michael, you know, and going, you know, trying to pacify him, should I say, I am so sad. This is what's wrong with the live. I don't know who's still watching. I've seen people come and go. I am so sorry if you're watching this tomorrow. It's such a serious story. And I've got this going on. She's lost her bone. Mix it over there. Go and get it. Okay. We're going to focus now. We're going to focus. We're focusing. Okay. I'm so sorry about that, everyone. Right. So, Terri is... Stop laughing, Tiffany. So, Terri, she tries to pacify him anyway, and she says, look, it's fine, you know, but... So he starts mocking Terri, and he's like, I knew you weren't going to do it. I knew you weren't interested. I knew you weren't really. You were blagging. You were full of it. And this is all it took. That bit of mocking was all it took for Terri to go, oh, do you know what? Okay. So Terri gets him to pull up outside of Oliver Stevens' school, Tori's school, at around 3:30. So Terri approaches Tori. Now she knows Tori very, very vaguely, only because of dealing the prescription drugs to Tori's mom, you know, so that's how she vaguely knows it. And although, as I've said, Tara was trying to wean herself off, she had dealings with Carol and Terri, but that was it. There was no real connection between Terri and Tori other than she knew that Tori was Tara's daughter. That was it. But Tori did recognise Terri when she approached her at the school. And it was the age-old question. I've got some puppies. Do you want to come and see them? And as any 8-year-old, which obviously Tori was at this point, with any 8-year-old, they're going to be like, oh, yes, please. Yeah, let's go. And as Terri brings Tori down to Michael's car, who was waiting just outside the school, she shoves Tori in to the back of the car and puts her down onto the floor and gets in. Oh, God. So they drive around for a little bit, Michael, Terri and Tori. So they're driving around for a bit. Now, during this drive, Michael gets out of the car at least 3 times. He gets out for fuel. He gets out to go into a drug dealer's house. And he also, where does he go? He goes to the ATM. 3 separate times this man gets out of that car, where Terri, who's got Tori in the car, crying her eyes out at this point because she knows there's no puppies. She's not going home. She's 8 years old and she doesn't know what's going on. And Terri is left in that car with her on at least 3 occasions and does nothing. So then they drive to a secluded part of, it's about an hour away from where they all live. It's a wooded area. And now I'm going to give you one last trigger warning. One last one. That's all I'm going to give you. Okay. Michael climbs into the back of the car. And he rapes little Tori Stafford for hours. Okay. During this time, Tori was screaming for Terri to help her. She was begging her. She was begging Terri to help her. Do you know what Terri did? She got out of the car and she had to walk around the wooded area. Just had a little, put her earphones on so she couldn't hear this child screaming for her help. And she just took a walk around this wooded area for hours. And then at one point, Michael kicks the back door open and says, take her to the toilet, talking about Tori. And when Tori got out of the car, she was naked from the waist down. She had blood coming down her legs. Terri takes her to the toilet in the wooded area. She could have took her then. She could have took her. She could have escaped with her then. And Tori was begging her, please don't take me back. She takes her back to the car, puts her in the car, and closes the door again. Oh, God. After a few hours, Michael opens the back door, kicks open the back door, throws Tori out onto the floor, throws her. She's 8 years old. Throws her onto the floor, and then begins kicking her, stamping on her, just beating her up, basically. And then it was said, please stay till the end, because it was said that he'd then put a black bag over Tori's head and then hit her over the head with a hammer until she died. That's what was said. Then they pick up Tori, they throw her onto a pile of rocks and then cover her with the rocks. They get back in the car. They drive away. All the bloody clothes, because there was a lot of bloody clothes, all of those clothes they bagged up in black bags. They threw them away in garbage, in like bins on the way back. They go to a petrol station. I don't know what they call it in Canada, but where you can clean the car. Then they noticed there was a lot of blood on the upholstery in the back of the car. So Terri, she had like a flick knife, cuts all the upholstery out, cuts all that out, gets rid of that. And then they go and have a takeaway. Oh my God. I told you. I did tell you. I did warn you. Okay, so we go back to Tara, who, like I say, hadn't been too worried up until 6 o'clock with where Tori, it's about 5:20. And when obviously Tori hadn't come home and she spoke to the grandmother and they'd gone searching around, they'd gone to the police. Now, initially, when they'd gone to the police station, The police had looked at Tara. She was a known, she had drug problems. They'd moved around quite a bit. So they looked at her at first. So then they went and got the surveillance, the CCTV footage from around the school to see if they could see Tori coming out of school. They spoke to the school. They knew she'd been in school, so they saw her coming out of the school. And as she's coming out of the school, they see a female approach her, who again they think it's Tara. So at the very beginning of this investigation, they thought, oh, it's you, it's you. When they were looking a bit more, I don't think they spent too much time accusing the mum. They always accuse the closest and then work out. I think when they looked at this footage, they realised that the build, everything, the walk was nothing like Tara. So they asked Tara, they said, do you recognise this woman? She's like, no. They see a car pull away from where from where Tori and Terry had walked. Obviously, we know it's Terry. You'd seen them walk, and then you see Michael's car pull off. So they had all of this. So when they realise it's not Tori's mum, Tara, they release this footage to the public, and the public come forward and, quite quickly, and they're like, that's Terri-Lynne McClintic. She's recognised very quickly, Terri-Lynne is. And so the police bring her in. They bring her straight in. I say straight in, it was on the 12th of April, so 4 days later. They bring Terri in, and the reason they bring her in, she's on a parole violation. Now, they've got nothing substantial on her at this moment, so they bring her in for this parole violation. And they put to her, they say, where was you on this date? Do you know Tori Stafford? Do you know what's happened to her? Of course, Terry's, no, I don't know. I don't even really know the girl. Do you know any, or anyway, because of the parole violation, they could put her in their jail for a little while. Guess who comes to visit her? To come and see her? The love of his life. Michael comes quite often and phones her. Well, she phones him, sorry. He's her contact, so she's phoning him. He's visiting her. And all it is to get their story straight. That's all this is. And she's denied it. She's denied it all the way, right up until the 15th of May. Now, I haven't missed it out. Tori still hasn't been found at this point. Okay? It's been a month. So the parents during this time have been doing press conference after press conference. It must have been horrific for them. You can see those clips online. Begging for anyone, if you know anything, please come forward. On the 15th of May 2009, Terry finally implicates Michael. But she denies she had anything to do with it. And she tells the police the story. Now, you can see the interrogation online. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. Because when you know what they did, and then to watch this girl. I mean, I know she's 19. I don't care. To see her snivelling and blowing her nose and oh my God, and you don't know what I went through. You want to spit your screen, honestly, to be honest. This case just blew my brain. So at this point, she's implicated Michael. She's admitted she was the girl on the CCTV, but she claims she didn't know exactly what he was going to do, just that he wanted a young girl and she wanted to make him happy. She's very trying to be damsel in distress in this, very the innocent party in all of this. So at that point, she draws a map of where Tori is buried. When the police go out there, they can't find Tori. They come back. They get very angry at Terri because they think she's messing them about. But the fact is, she wasn't driving. Obviously, there was a lot going on in the car at the time. And it's been said that she wasn't actually trying to be deceitful at this point. She'd said everything Michael had done, put it that way, without putting herself too much in it. You know, she was scared. She didn't know what to do. I didn't know he was going to do that. You know, that kind of thing. So when she draws this map again, and you can see the interrogation, they're like, how many trees away from the road was it? I was this. And, you know, she's putting it together, but she still hasn't quite got the place right. So they go out and look again. They still can't find Tori. And during this interrogation, I think this is what did it for me. When I knew what had happened and I'd watched the interrogation, and what did it for me, I think it was mentioned earlier on in the comments that sometimes there's just specific cases that are just too much for you. They're just too much. And what did it for me was Terri describes what Michael was doing to Tori. And she basically says that at one point when she looked in the car, I still don't believe she wasn't in the car at some point. It hasn't been said, but I just can't believe that she wasn't there at any point. But she says that she looked in the car at one point and Michael was propped up against the back of the back door, legs stretched across the back seat. And Tori was on his lap. And just awful. She does say, obviously, he moved her around a couple of times during the time he had Tori in the car with him. But it's just, I didn't know whether to do this one. I didn't know whether to do it. I've done many stories, but this one, I just didn't know whether to do it because I want to do it, and I do it to keep victims' names out there. It's the whole point of my channel, and with her being such a young girl and everything else, it's you want to tell her story, but just there's so many bits of it that I just thought, I want to get off this planet. I can't be on this planet with people that are capable of doing things like that to a child, to a little girl. She was 8 years old. Okay, so like I say, she'd said that she'd seen Michael put a black bag over Tori and hit Tori with the hammer. That's what she said she'd seen. Michael's now brought in. Okay, now remember, they still haven't got Tori at this moment in time. They haven't really got any proof other than what Terri's saying. So they bring Michael in. Oh my God. If you can, I don't even mean to actually watch the full interrogation because it's very upsetting. But even if you just watch just for a second of Michael Rafferty's interrogation, he sat there sobbing with the blanket round him. This fella, it's actually, it's sickening to say. He's you would never put it on it. Much like Paul Bernardo, not a bad looking guy at all. Young. If you saw him on the street, you wouldn't. As we know, they don't walk around with the signs going, I'm a pedo. I get that. But I'm just saying that sometimes it's just, you would never have seen that coming. I don't. Then again, to be in his company, maybe you would. I'm not too sure, but just from pictures, he just looks like a normal lad. It's crazy. But in his interrogation, like I say, he's there with the blanket around him and a bin in case he vomits, in case he's sick, because it's too much for him. He's denying all of it, saying knows nothing about it, doesn't know what Terri's on about, doesn't really know Terri very well. You know, this girlfriend. He's not wrong. They have only been together 2 months. So he's not wrong. He doesn't know her very well. But that's not the point he was making. He was saying that he didn't know her at all. They weren't a couple. That, you know, this girl, I see her now and again. I've got prescription drugs off her and a mum every now and again. I mean, completely dismisses that they have any real interactions with each other. Can I just tell you what I've written down here? You know, obviously you see me looking down as I'm doing these stories, and it's not, obviously a lot of what I'm saying is me, but I have to have dates and names and everything else. I wouldn't, you know, I'd hate to get them wrong. So they are written down. And I'd written down here that when he was, you know, he was brought in and the dates and stuff. And I'd written dickhead. That's actually what I've written on this paper in front of me. Dickhead and muppet. And the fact that he was going to be sick and that he was, you know, cold. He was cold. He was upset. He had his tissues. He had the bin. He had the blanket. He didn't know why this girl was trying to implicate him in the murder of a girl. He would never do that. So what they do during this interrogation, they bring Terri in because they say, look, we've got Terri in another room. She's the one saying all this. She's the one saying it was you. You did this. You kidnapped that girl. You raped her. You murdered her. This was you. And he's going, she's a liar. She's a liar. I didn't do it. So they bring her in and they sit her in the room with him. And the detective goes, tell her now to her face. Tell her she's a liar. And he does say she's a liar, but he doesn't look at her. In fact, he doesn't look at her once when she's been brought into that interrogation room. And all I can think with this girl, she's, I can't even have, there's no sympathy for her. There's nothing. I can't. I was about to say, you know, you've put your neck on the line for this man and now he's denying even knowing you. I can't. There's no sympathy. I can't do it. And you'll see why in a second. You think it's bad already. So they do a search of his car, and even though with her little flick knife she tried to cut out the upholstery with any blood on it, there was still blood in the car. The DNA come back that it was Tori's, so Tori had been in his car. So they charge Michael with kidnapping, rape and murder. First degree murder. They charge Terri with kidnapping and first degree murder. Now, Tori, after, you know, Michael never pleads not guilty, never owns up to this at all. Terri's still trying to point them in the direction of where Tori is. That's Terri. And eventually she's found, but not till the 19th of July 2009, so 3 months. It took them 3 months to find her. So, of course, there's a lot of decomposition at that point, and a lot of fluids have been lost and everything else. But at the autopsy, I think this did it as well. At the autopsy, there was blunt force trauma, a lacerated liver. She had 16 broken ribs. 16 broken ribs, and I think that was what did it for me. Because do you remember I said she was on his lap? And it was either then or when he was beaten. I don't know, but just that did it for me as well. It was like, oh my God. So Terri had pled guilty to her charges, and she was given straight away, because obviously there wouldn't be a trial. So she was given 25 years. Remember, this is Canada. So I know their justice system borders on ours a little bit. So I know if this had been in America, I would say it'd have been at least life without parole, but possibly, depending on what state it'd be, would have been the death penalty. I've no doubt in that. But she got 25 years. Michael still saying he's innocent. So on the 5th, where are we? So on the 5th of March 2012, so we're going 3 years later. Because he pled not guilty, there was a trial. That's when the trial began. He's still claiming he's innocent and everything else. Well, guess who goes in the witness box against him? Little old Terri. But what Terri says during her cross-examination on the witness stand, it wasn't Michael. It wasn't Michael that had killed Tori. What she said is that when Michael had threw Tori out of the car onto the floor, and he began beating her and stomping on her and kicking her, Tori was screaming. What else would she be doing? And she said because she'd been abused. Don't forget, remember I said she'd been abused as a child? And because she'd been abused, the screams triggered her. They triggered her. So she picked up the hammer and she smashed her over the head until she died. Terri, not Michael. And she says this on the witness stand. Oh, God. She says it just, it triggered something in her. Now, that kind of not be understandable, but be believable with regards to her being triggered, let's say. Obviously, we believe that she did it, but with it being the fact that she was triggered would be believable. Had, as I told you earlier, she not told one of the people while she was in her juvenile facility that it's her lifelong dream to kidnap and murder and smash the skull of somebody with a hammer. Do you remember? So they both got to fulfill a fantasy that day. Just 2 months they were together. 2 months, and they destroyed this little girl. So Michael, of course, is found guilty, even though his lawyer was saying, you know, she'd lied, and in the sense of, you know, why is he being charged with murder, and it should be an accomplice after the fact. Apparently you can't do that in a first degree murder trial and everything else. He was found guilty. He got 25 years as well. They both got 25 years because apparently that's the maximum that can be given as a life sentence in Canada. Again, like here though, it doesn't mean they'll be released after 25 years. It just means that's the earliest they'll be eligible for parole. But you want to know the real kicker? He appealed it. He had the audacity to appeal this because he says, I wasn't there. He's never given an alibi. He's never said I was doing this. Her blood was found in his car. But he still never, ever admitted it. And you know what? I hope he doesn't. And the reason being, because I could be wrong, but I believe that if you don't own up to your crime, you can't be released because you're not you're not taking ownership, you're not taking accountability for what you've done. I think that's any crime, really. If you plead not guilty, you're found guilty, and then you don't own up to it, you don't get released because you're not admitting to your crime. So I kind of hope he doesn't admit to it, although I don't know if it would give the family some sort of I don't know if it'll give them some sort of not consolation, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but comfort maybe. I don't know. I don't think there's any comfort that can be given. It's just oh yeah, but he exhausted his appeals. He won't get any earlier time. He's obviously not going to get out. She's not going to get out. But can you, mind you, I suppose even if she'd have owned up to her part in the end of it, and the fact that it was actually her that murdered Tori, she still wouldn't have been given any extra time anyway. But it was her. She did it. Would he have done? He possibly would have done it anyway. I would say he would have. But I don't know. Was he capable of doing that? But to be capable of doing what he did, and he was beating an 8-year-old girl, I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that he would have done it himself if she hadn't have done it anyway. But that was the sickening Tori Stafford story. Oh my God. I'm sorry for the mess up with Mitzi. I'm sorry for losing it halfway through. Yeah, Phil, I don't know what goes on in people's heads. I don't. And that's the case of why I had to pull away. Like I say, I've done a lot of horrific stories, and I think sometimes there's just that one that stays with you, and this is that one. That just I couldn't shake. I couldn't shake it. I just thought that poor little girl. She was just leaving school. She was just coming out of school. She saw her mum's pal who said, "Do you want to come and look at some puppies?" And that was it. And her family looking for her, and she wasn't found for 3 months. Just so many parts of it. And then what he did, and her begging Terry to help her. Even when even if she didn't really, let her go when he was doing whatever he was doing before they'd got to the wooded area. When she was taking her to the toilet and seeing what he'd done to this little girl, why not then? Why couldn't she have let her go? Oh God, I genuinely don't have any words for the end of this one. I don't. It's just a horrific, awful, sickening, as the title says, story. And that was the Tori Stafford story. How are we all? How are we all after that one? It's just, I always get really stuck at the end, especially when they're like this. And I hope I haven't triggered you all too badly. It just was. I did warn you all. I did. It is horrible. It is horrible. Sorry, I'm trying not to put my finger out on the thing. I don't know what goes on people's heads. I just don't know. I genuinely don't know. I haven't got a lot of a thought process in it, because I think Terry bothered me more, and that might sound sexist, it might sound wrong, it might sound, I don't care. She bothered me more because she was a girl. She'd been through that, so she'd said, when she was little. Well, I don't even know if that's true, but that's what was said. And she it was her that Tori was screaming to help her. She was begging her to help her, to take her away, to get her away from this man who was hurting her. And what did she do instead? She killed her instead. Just horrible. So Mitzi getting involved. She likes to be famous too. She wants to be involved. She's like, look at me. Don't listen to these stories. Just watch me jump about, bless her. Okay, so that's the Tori Stafford. I don't even know how to end it, but what I am going to say is, I'm going to, she's an evil creature. I'm sorry, I'd knocked the comments off, so I didn't think any of you were coming back. Oh, thank you, Phil. Thanks, Steve. She did use it as an excuse, Kelly. I do, and I part of me, I know I shouldn't question someone who's, well, I don't care when it, with regards to her, but her mum didn't even know about it, and it only came out after this happened, and I know that can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but I'm just so, isn't it convenient? It's convenient, let's just say. But I just think if you've been through something like that, why would you watch it happen to another little girl? I just don't get it. Okay. Guess who's going to see Emma Kenny tomorrow? Guess who's going? Oh, thank you. I jumped in before you. You jumped in before me. Yes, I'm very excited. It's at 7:30 tomorrow. I'm going to try and get a pic. And if I can, I'll put it up on here. Because you can put like, where I put my comment, my comment up to say when I'm doing my live. I'll see if I can put a picture in there. If she lets me. Do you reckon I should mention I've got a channel? Do you reckon that's a bit beggy? I don't know. What do you think? I've been told I shouldn't, and then I'm told I should. I don't know. Do I say, ooh, I've got a channel too. Can you subscribe to me? No, I wouldn't say that. But I think I should mention it. No. I don't know. I don't know what, but I'll just see how it is. I'll just see how it could be very, because we get to meet, I told you, didn't I? So it could be very much just a quick, hi, how are you kind of thing. But if it's kind of a little bit more than that, I might be like, well, I love her videos. Yes, absolutely. Phil, is that what you're asking? I love her. I love her videos, but I might, oh, is that what I should say? I love your videos too. Yes. Got it, Phil. Got it. That was a bit slow then. So I should just say, oh, you know what? I love your videos too, because I've got a channel. So I don't know. I'm really gormless sometimes as well. So I'll start stuttering. I'll say stupid things. But I'm going to practice tonight, and I'm just going to be, I haven't met anyone famous really. So I'm just going to be like, oh, I don't know. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be really embarrassing. I will tell you about it. I might do another live sooner, so I can tell you about it, because I know it's yeah. Done. Sorry, it's been a good Wednesday. Watching. Oh, bless you. Oh, she just has on about that. Yes, yeah. I know, Tiffany. I should just not talk. Maybe I should just do my jingle for her. Just go. I've got a channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh. Oh dear. Oh, okay, Phil. Sorry. I thought you were telling me what I could say to her, but that I could do that. Yes. I just. Oh, should I just do that in front of her? Maybe she'll just think I'm a bit special. Right, I can't say that. I'm on YouTube, but maybe she'll. I don't know, but I might just. What do you think, Tiff? What we saying? Shall I just do my jingle for her? And just be going, you know what? Maybe I should just pretend to be not a fan, and just be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I genuinely don't. Just walk up to her and go, what's up? I can't do that either. I can't. I'm not genuinely not too sure how to word this. I am special, Tiffany. I genuinely am. I'm so nervous as to what to say to this gorgeous lady. I don't know who I watch all the time, and then to say it, I'm just gonna. It's all gonna go horribly wrong. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones now. I'm just gonna go. What's it? Like, comment, subscribe. I could just be really cool in the corner. No, I'm not a cool person. Okay. Anyway, enough rambling, and I will walk up. Yes. No, we don't. I'm not gonna do that, and I can't even say that out loud, Tiffany, because the comments don't stay on the channel. And if I say that, then whoever's watching it tomorrow is just gonna look at me like, okay, we can't watch this girl again. And I'm subscribed. Okay. They're gonna be like, oh, she's trying to be like Top Boy. Anyway, I will let you all know how I get on. I'm very, very nervous. I should just walk up and go, all right, how's things going? Should I call it M? No, I'm not going to call it M. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I've got to let this go. I've got to milk on. Okay, Tiffany, you ready? Okay. If you're watching this tomorrow, and or anyone who's watching it now, if you wouldn't mind, I think it's just my favourites on here now. I shouldn't call you my favourites in case anyone else doesn't. They'll be like, oh, okay, I'm not a favourite, but you know who you are. You know who you are, my favourites. So, if you after you've watched this, if you're watching it now, if you wouldn't mind liking it afterwards, and if you're watching it tomorrow. Okay, I'm ready. No one tomorrow is going to be watching this late on. They're not going to be. They'd have cut me off ages ago. But anyway, if you are watching now, like, comment, subscribe, please. Please. No, yes, I have to do. Yeah. Let's do it. Do you know, I've got such a bad arm and it's still really sore and I've really got to stop doing it. But I don't feel like you can see my thumbs if I don't do it. So that's what I'm going to do to Emma tomorrow. I'm going to go, right, Em, how's it going? No, I'm not going to do that at all. Right, I've got to go. I'm going. Thank you so much. Yeah, you do it, Phil. Do it. And then I can... Maybe I can get a picture of her tomorrow and I'll put it on. I'm so excited. Okay, I will see you all next Thursday for a live, but I will try and put something up tomorrow. So if I'm back late tomorrow, I'll put it up on Friday. If I can get a photo of her, that's what I want to do. And have a lovely evening all. Thank you all for joining me again, and I will see you all soon. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Thank you, Phil. Take care.